in here kind of puts him back
How does it keep
outside.
getting what?
I don't know. Oh, hello.
Hey, so we're not prepared. We were mid conversation when we went live because we're goddamn professionals. So no intro, no nothing.
Hi, our dog is covered in mud. Our
Yeah.
dog.
It has been.
Play us in.
It's been a hell of a week. So yeah, oh, man, we're fucking
May
unprepared.
as well not even do the music.
All right, so we're doing the music. I already pushed the button, so better late than never. So hey,
4.
thank you all for joining Southpaw's Tales from the Barstool
I could have
live.
been talking about way worse shit. Like way worse shit. Like that was the second time I got crabs. Like that was could have been way worse. People.
That's how. I have to apologize from the very, very beginning. Once the theme music fades out, you're probably going to be hearing a lot of Tejano. Our neighbors are blaring Tejano so loud that I thought their speaker was in our room. It's absurdly loud. But yeah, welcome to Southpaw Tales of the Barstool.
The obvious motherfucking shit show. And I have no idea how long you have been sitting and listening to our shit. So we're also talking about doing a I hate to say bed and breakfast edition, but slumber party. We're going to do a slumber party edition coming up where we're going to be in the most cliche, crazy ass motherfucking jammies. Am I going to wear a muumuu? I don't know. Maybe. But we're going to be doing a slumber party here soon.
Bet. So if you are joining us live, make sure that you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook. Give them permission to see your name so we know who's talking.
Muumuu. That's what I'm going to do.
Fuck, I don't care. You can make sure you go to YouTube and all of your favorite podcasting platforms. Make sure you subscribe, like, share, all that good bullshit. Tonight we're going to be doing one of our favorite topics. It's ghosts, ghouls, and high ABV spirits. Because man, we just like talking about haunted shit. We bought some antiques over the weekend that I really hope are haunted.
We're going to throw a story at you here and there, but more so aspirations for the future for ourselves, things we've discussed in the past that we'd be cool with, things like that.
Yep. So let's go ahead and get the sponsors going. Awesome. Move this shit forward. I'm going to be making old fashions with Basil Hayden.
So give me the remote.
It's a Basil Hayden cask finish bourbon. It's a bourbon that's been aged after the fact in red wine barrels. Really good shit. I'm making some old fashions with that. While I'm doing that, she's gonna be doing the sponsors.
It's very unique flavor if you're gonna drink it on the rocks. So just be prepared. It is not like a regular whiskey.
Fucking tasty.
It is very fucking tasty, but it is definitely unique. All right, so we're gonna start with our first OG sponsors, and that is 5x5 Brewing Company, Battleborn, Texas-made veteran brewing company based in Mission, Texas, co-founded by Army vet George Rice. With beers like the 40mm Stout, Burnett Bombshell, and Foo Bar, it's no surprise this brewery is taking over the Texas market from the valley to the coastal bend. Ask your local grocer, bar, or restaurant to start carrying
struggling with that, aren't you?
5x5 Brewing Company today. So you can get their information at 5x5brewing.com, facebook.com/5x5 brewing. You can call them at 956-445-5421, or you can email them at info@5x5brewing.com. So yes, that whole fucking thing, our whole intro just threw me through an effing loop. That and I don't fucking know. I'm missing the river already. I'll tell you what, we just spent 3 days on the river. We even went to Green. We'll talk about that. I miss it. All right, so our next sponsor is OMOG Construction with Marine vet Seth Knox and Matt Anders. General contractor servicing the greater Houston, Texas area with a focus on concrete. No job too big or too small, from residential to commercial and industrial foundations and pads. OMOG Construction has you covered. You can get their information at omogco.com, facebook.com/OMOGCO, or Instagram OMGCO. That's one Mexican, one Wedo. Wedo is Spanish for white guy. Next is on a different piece of paper, and that is Quick Start Mortgage Group, powered by U Mortgage, the letter U, not you, with Nathan Einkorn, proud member of Vetted VA. You can get their information at quickstartmortgagegroup.com in Einkorn. at umortgage.com. You can call them at 720-980-9988 or Facebook is at Quick Start Mortgage Group and Instagram is at Colorado Mortgage Broker. Is there notes? Oh, yes. The convenience of an online lender only with better rates and a dedicated staff of highly trained mortgage brokers to make sure your mortgage process goes smoothly. Awesome. Next.
You're doing fantastic.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm butchering this, but hey, y'all can't say shit. All right. So next is JD's favorite business magazine. That is Shift Advanced Life Design, founded by Air Force vet Robert Garcia, who was like our first guest on this show.
He was our first guest and
Oh
our
my gosh.
75th guest.
In fact, the entire staff is Air Force. Shift has all kinds of great business advice, interviews, and more. I don't know if y'all know this, but JD's been featured twice. I mean, 3 times. It says twice.
3 times.
It says twice.
Oh.
Okay,
My notes are wrong.
We're gonna change that to thrice.
Thrice.
Yes, apparently he's
Thrice.
featured 3 times, not 2, even though his notes say 2. And JD's been featured 3 times.
Yep.
3 times.
So if you're wondering, the Basil Hayden Casks Finished Bourbon is 40% out ABV. It's made in Frankfort, Kentucky, distributed by Jim Beam or James Beam.
James Dean?
James Beam, which is Jim Beam. So without further ado, let's go ahead and check the comments and see what's going on here. See who's
Hello. I don't know. JD hasn't clicked on the comments.
I'm clicking on the comments. It's not going.
There it goes.
Okay.
Woohoo, the moo. Okay, that's my favorite. Slumber party at Casa de Tierney. Yeah, man.
Yeah, totally down with that. Let's see. We've got
pick which way. Why weren't you at Vetted VA Summer something? You scrolled. Stop.
Sorry. The summer camp, the Vetted VA summer camp, the one that Chris puts on every year because our schedule.
With your finger?
Yeah.
Now it's gonna taste like fingies.
Hey, but they're clean thingies.
And I don't know who Facebook user is, but I cannot wait for that fig vanilla bourbon by the
I bet that's Eric.
22 Salute. Oh, fudge, yes. I can't wait. That looks so good.
Yeah, I'm just waiting. And then somebody says, "Hey nerds, what's up, crew?" So yeah, hello, everybody. So briefly, we as Kat briefly talked about.
Wait a minute. We have to stop and talk about this because apparently I missed a lot when I do the sponsors. Like apparently he uses fingers to stir it. And now this Facebook user is calling you out saying, my favorite part of this episode was JD deep throating the muddler right after he used it.
I did not deep throat it. It was just the tip.
You don't know what that means, do you?
Kinda. Just the tip.
I'm pretty sure I've gotten pregnant twice with just the tip.
I mean, the trick is the whole thing is the tip. Okay,
Oh
but as Kat briefly touched on, we took our annual trip to the river in New Braunfels. We camp out. It's outside of having a fan, it's roughing it. There's no cell phone service. It's beautiful.
JD used to keep an portable air conditioning unit,
yeah, it gets hot as hell.
A window unit that he'd split off between the 2 tents, but that died years ago. So we've been fanning it ever since. And you know what? We've got those ground fans. They're pretty badass. I gotta say, they work out pretty darn good.
So outside of New Braunfels is this little town called Green. It has the longest continuously running dance hall in the state of Texas. I do believe west of the Mississippi as well. It's been continuously running since like the early 1900s.
And if you're not from Texas, it's Green, Gruene. Yes.
And our friend was floating with us, and he told me the funniest line is we were on the Guadalupe River, and he's like, "Make sure there's no poopy in the Guadalupe." But I digress. So we went to Green, and Green is basically just a bunch of wineries, and boutiques and antique shops, and there's one antique shop in particular that we go to every year that we go there. There's always just 1 or 2 really good finds. Mostly we get stuff there as like gifts for people for Christmas or something like that. We see something that sticks out. It's like, oh, that's your dad or whatever.
Yeah. Which happened this year, but I'm not going to ruin it in case he's listening. So, but we did get his gift. Yeah.
But this year we it was a fucking treasure trove. It was one of those things that's meant to be. And we found, our cat found in a corner where these
Gilded
either late 1800s to early 1900s Voltaire style chairs with the red velvet, the studs all over it, like gorgeous,
marked down to next to nothing. It was
And-
like, are these for real? Like they were original. Nothing was replaced. They were still very firm, like they weren't even used. And so she pulled it up and he said, or she said they were taken from a penthouse in Houston.
Yeah.
So some rich fuck in Houston had them in his house probably as like a statement piece and just never fucking used them. But they're gorgeous. Red velvet.
Cat and I being Cat and I.
Yeah.
Outside of the beauty and the craftsmanship, what I really hoped for is that they're haunted.
We were literally walking through and we found like a gold gilded mirror. We found a brass table. So we found a few things that we bought in this one antique store, but all over the place. They were nowhere near each other. They were in opposite ends of the spectrum. Gorgeous pieces, very reasonably priced. So we're already like living our dream. And I was looking around and I was like, I really just want an urn with like someone's ashes still in it. And JD was like, yeah. And our son was like, no, you can't be serious. And I was like,
I don't know if it's an obsession.
I was serious.
Or a sickness, but the amount of macabre that we enjoy is just,
I seriously looked into
probably questionable.
So we came home and I just hung that gilded mirror right in the entryway. So like you walk in the door, it's not in the proper place. It needs to be lifted up a little to be just right. But I don't mind the location and it works for now. But it's right inside the entryway door. So if we come down the stairs and make the curve to go to like the kitchen, the kids' playroom, anything in the back room, anything like that, you're walking straight towards this mirror. And every time I'm like,
hoping
is
to
there
see
someone
something
standing behind me? You know, and I'm hoping. I'm like, just a mirror. So just a mirror.
The people that are watching and listening live right now, do you think that objects can be haunted or some kind of spirit, regardless of what you define that as, can attach itself to an object that can be moved? Because
or people, do you think they can attach themselves to people? We hear that all the time. Like we've lived in several haunted houses, so we've been asked by people, are they just following you? And we're like, no, because they're not the same.
It's different haunting experiences everywhere we lived, and
it's different feels, it's different activity, it's different everything. So I don't believe it's one thing that's like attached to JD or I, or an object in our house, because it's always different.
But the whole haunted object thing goes not the most recent, but when it became really popular was with the Warrens, the ones that the Conjuring is completely written about.
Yeah, with Annabelle,
and then Annabelle being a doll that a demon, and then it moves forward through modern ghost hunting or the paranormal sciences. And there was one show, I can't remember, they only had like one season where the dude had his little museum of haunted items, where basically it was like
antique, expensive items that he basically is taking from people and convincing them they're haunting.
And then you have
it's fucking brilliant. It's brilliant.
Fag Bagans from Ghost Adventures, who's got his little museum now of all the shit that he's
Can we trademark
stolen.
Fag Bagans?
Fag Bagans.
I don't think that's appropriate.
Have we said anything PC on this show ever?
Okay, fair. Frank says 100.
Honestly, I was about to say, I honestly 100% believe that they can, but I'm really torn on this. Like,
what are those boxes that the Jewish people believe in, where they trap souls inside the boxes?
I know what you're talking about. I don't
what
know
are they called?
Hey, somebody Google that.
But there are people that swear upon these boxes, and
they're like sealed shut with like a lock and then wax and
yes, where it like traps evil spirits, and it is a more Jewish tradition of trapping them in these boxes, and I can't remember what they're called, but it's.
But to some degree,
there's so many people that believe in this, and there's so many stories of coming across these boxes and opening them up, not realizing what they are, and then they're having nightmares and things happening in their houses, and then they're having to like find someone, and I hate to say shaman, but that's not right, to come and help them basically cleanse their house and get it back in the box.
But every culture has something like that to some degree.
JD uses a shaman to get back in my box all the time.
the Yep.
The shaman is what he calls his penis.
And take two and action. Okay, so every culture has
Shaman.
some version of that though. Like we lived down in South Texas with a very strong Hispanic culture,
Yes.
and they believe that you can trap a spirit in an egg, a raw egg.
Yes.
There's different ways of doing it, putting it under the bed, rubbing it over the forehead, depending on what the ailment or issue is. There's different ways, but getting a spirit trapped in an egg, there's some cultures that use bowls or cauldrons of water to trap spirits. Other ones, it's salt blocks, mirrors. There's all different kinds of ways to do it.
Where they lure the evil entity into a goat and then sacrifice the goat. There's a lot of interesting things out there, and this is all over. Like there's ghosts in the Bible for F's sake. Like literally, Jesus is like, I'm not a ghost. This is me. Why would he say he was a ghost if they weren't around even then? Just saying. So
I believe something can be done. I just don't. It's so hard for me to fathom like an actual person, like the personality of something attaching to something else and being able to at will leave that object to fuck with you and then go back to sleep inside of it. Like that part kind of gets me. But
I mean, I understand like houses, places, and when you change it, it messes with their schedule and that might disrupt them. I kind of get that more so than anything. So I get houses, like those are places. But can you imagine being so infatuated with an object or it being so integral in your life that you would attach yourself to it?
My wiener.
The shaman?
The shaman. You brought up houses though.
I'm attached to it too, but you don't see me like I'm gonna you know what I should attach myself like spiritually to your penis. So then if I die, I will haunt your britches for por vida.
You already do. I turn around and like, oh fuck. There she is again. No, you brought up houses and it made me think about something. Have you ever noticed? So someone can live in a house and do zero maintenance on it.
Yeah.
Outside of just like mowing the lawn or whatever. But actually and it lasts forever. Years, decades. But if there's an abandoned building and there's no grass around it, even though there's nobody living in it, no animals in it. Yeah, so there's some kind of like there's got to be some kind of energy,
like a soul to the house,
or just
you know what the soul is for our house? It is a really drunk Irish dude, and he's like, "Fuck you."
he's a potato eating McFuck that just haunts our house, but he's happy. There's plenty of whiskey here.
Oh my god, I want it to be a sorority girl so bad. Y'all are stupid. Like, what does a bitch have to do to get a spritzer up in here? Because of that face. That's what I want. I want that face. Oh, that would be awesome. For a very limited amount of time, that would be awesome. But JD and I have talked about that, where people like tag us on stuff. Would you live in a haunted house for? And we're like, yep. You don't even have to finish that sentence.
Yeah, don't tell me how much it is. I'm gonna go there.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna pay me. Oh, well, I'll definitely go. Fuck, I was
normally
we're
paying. Right? Yeah, normally we're paying to go see the haunted shit.
Like anytime, I mean, seriously, if there's an object that someone says is haunted, we probably want it. I mean, yeah, it's weird.
It's bad. So we've discussed this ad nauseum on past episodes about being the Halloween house in the neighborhood. So we are actually fully leaning into that now. We just had the outside of the house repainted to black and dark gray. So yeah, and the inside we've spent the last 4 years making it look like Chip and Joanna Gaines puked.
Yeah. I said had butt sex, but yeah.
Farm chic in our house. And now we're getting ready to sell all that shit, and we're going straight Gothic Victorian with and we're looking for oddities. So if you know of any like cool oddities,
Yeah. If you know of animal skulls or petrified bats or
anything that'll make people question us when they
and then JD described it so perfectly. He's like, I want it to be like a clean Addams Family house. I'm
it's like the Addams Family with less cobwebs.
Yeah, I'm in. Let's do that. So, but we've discussed this. Like JD and I both really appreciate older items, older things, older houses, older buildings. So anytime we are watching those ghost shows, we're so focused on the beauty of those abandoned buildings. So we're like, oh my God, we need to buy an old abandoned hospital and refurbish it and turn it into
our house.
Gosh darn house. And like we've been to them, like we've said that around people, and they're like, oh, you're just gonna make it more haunted. And we're like, okay.
Like, well, the thing about any of the old buildings like that, and especially if they still have some of the furniture that's original, is the craftsmanship and just the quality of work that was put into it. People actually gave a shit about their trade. Nowadays, you have tradesmen that are just wanting to fucking get $1. They have no pride whatsoever.
Ron says, I'm sure I have some, or I can get all the skull heads you want.
Please,
Ron, if they're human, we probably shouldn't take them because that's evidence. And the best thing we can do is have plausible deniability. So yeah, those chairs, the chairs are gorgeous, but now we have to like keep the kids off of them, keep the cats off of them. So it's going to be a real interesting. JD was like, I'm going to redo the fabric on it. I'm like, the fuck you are. No, like, okay, if you want to darken the wood, that's the only thing I'll agree to. But really, they're natural. How they are right now is just
they're beautiful walnut.
Beautiful.
I just got to clean them up and
they do need to
them a little
bit. Yeah. But man, because each of the nails are all original, and you could tell they were like hand hammered, where they're not perfectly spaced. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty, y'all. I wish y'all could see it. I know I like put my phone up to the camera before. I guess I could.
What?
But, like put my phone up to the camera before to like show them pictures.
Oh.
What did you think I meant?
I had no idea what you were talking about. That's what I was.
What are you thinking about?
So I don't know who Facebook user is, but they say they might steal them.
No.
So yeah, if you are watching live, make sure you go to facebook.com or excuse me, StreamYard.com/Facebook. Give them permission to see your name, so I know.
Did you see what Ron said?
No.
So you're saying I have to keep them in the fridge? Yes.
Yes. chilling like a dick in Dahmer's freezer. Oh, it's Chaz. Chaz might steal them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Get fucked, Chaz, or not. Frank talks about when you renovate, haunts can become stronger.
I know.
I hope so. I mean, I don't know why.
We unfortunately, because we bought an older home and it's, there's leaks, there's this, there's that. We're kind of living in a perpetual state of construction here. And
there's nothing here. And
we knew that would happen eventually. Yeah, there's that one little thing. We knew that it would happen eventually, that we'd have to do construction. We just assumed it would be on our terms, at our pace, but not so much. The little kid.
What little kid?
Oh my gosh, stop acting. I know we've talked about this before. So there's a little kid in our house. It like pushes you when you lean over. It'll tug on your shirt. I see it running into the playroom, and I think it's Nolan every single time, and it's never Nolan. It happens all the time.
I think I might have seen that once.
See, there you go.
And I wrote it off.
And see, I had seen it several times, and I didn't really say anything until Daniel saw it, and he's like, I know I saw Nolan run in the playroom, and I went to go get him to remind him to clean his room, and he wasn't in there. And I was like, yeah. So
I know I've probably got something attached to me because I deserve it.
Well, yeah.
When I was in the military, I'm not going to say what base, and I'm not going to say all this other stuff, but there was a certain base that had a big hospital there that was also one of the local trauma centers. So there was a huge ER there, huge morgue, and so they always had two of us for every shift doing security there. That way, if a gangbanger got thrown out of a door that was just blasted, we could start the police report, keep out fighting
And I'm
families,
sure
keep
you're
gangbangers out.
keeping your job very seriously. You were taking your job.
Oh yeah, we took our jobs extremely seriously. But being security there, we also had to
Such a
do
liar.
we'd do security checks of everything, make sure that the psych ward doors were secured, and go make sure the pharmacies were secured at night. Nobody was getting in those. Just all these different checks that we had to do. And then we also had access to the morgue. And what do twisted military people do when they have access to a morgue? They scare the new guys.
Oh,
So
I was like, please tell me you didn't desecrate a body.
no, I didn't desecrate any bodies
Then you're
that
cool.
I'll admit to.
You desecrated my body.
Daily. But anytime there was a new guy, we would take him on the tour. You know, this is our responsibilities. This, you got to check here, you got to check here, you got to go to the morgue and check here. And there was always somebody, and fortunately, I got to be the scare many a times. But we would hide in the body freezer. You know, the one that's the whole wall is like this body freezer, and you would climb in on one of those slabs and keep the door open just enough to be able to hear the conversations. It looks like it's closed from the outside if you're not really paying attention. And then when they get to a certain part of just almost pissing their pants, you kick that door open and just fly out. And I remember when it happened to me. So yeah, I ended up being the scare like 6 or 7 times scaring
Did you ever
people.
see anything there?
I never saw anything, but there was definitely times where just the mood or the feeling and the presence in the room just completely changed for no reason. But when when it was my turn, I was a rookie, and they scared me. Like I knew something was going to happen. What it was, I had no fucking clue. I'm like, yeah, these guys are fucking with me. This is something's not right. So I had my collapsible baton. I just had it fucking ready, and that dude jumped out, and I fucking whacked him across the shin with a fucking baton.
And why would that cause you to be haunted?
Just fucking around in a morgue as much as we did. I mean, sure, that's not.
Do you really think that?
I mean, there were bodies in there when we were there, but
people care about where their dead body went. Like seriously,
I'm sure some dead people worry about what happens to their body.
No. So I have a few hospital interactions. So the first one was probably the funniest. So I'm going to start with that one because it's the funniest. So we had a few things happen. So during a hurricane, we live in Corpus Christi, Texas. Right on the water, hurricane comes in. You got to all but evacuate the whole gosh darn town because it's going to get destroyed. And I happened to work at a hospital at the time that had literally a wall of windows because it was designed by a hotel designer, not a person who designs hospitals. So they have to empty out the entire hospital, but you have to keep a skeleton crew. At any point, someone can drop a baby in the emergency room. So NICU crew's got to be there on standby just in case a 24-weeker mom goes in labor because the pressure change and drops a 24-weeker in the middle of a gosh darn hurricane. So they clear out the hospital, and it's before the hurricanes even come in. Hospital's cleared out. We've got like one patient that couldn't get discharged, should get it or couldn't get transported, should be discharged hopefully in the morning before the hurricane rolls in. So we're just laughing, hanging out at the nurse's station, and I have to run a blood gas. I go to the blood gas machine, and I'm on my way back, and there's a clock in the room, the last room, and it was flashing die, 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 die. And it's done this before. It's done it twice. And every time we change out the batteries, change out the clock, it flashes die. We had several babies die in that room, just back to back to back. So we stopped using that room. Well, it's flashing die. It's the middle of a hurricane. We're like, oh shit, like not again. So we change out the batteries. We put it back on the wall. We go back. Sure shit, it's flashing die again. So we just took it out of the room. So I have to go to the bathroom. I don't want to. So
I would probably shit myself if
we have rules in the NICU. You don't use the break room bathroom to shit. Okay. You find another bathroom in the hospital. And usually the one right outside of the NICU is the one we use because it's a visitor bathroom. No one cares, and it's not the unit. So I went to go use that one and it was taken. So I was like, no one is in this gosh darn hospital. Like we have police patrolling the hospital, make sure no one breaks in to rob our pharmacy and shit. But besides that, the lobby's closed, the medical office building. So I was like, I'm gonna go use the lobby bathroom. I'm gonna go blow that shit up. So I go.
So this whole story is about you pooping.
Can I get to the story? Gosh. So I go in the bathroom. No one's in there. Okay. I sit down. I hear like almost like the seat went down, and I like peek underneath the stalls. Nope. No one's here. Most of the stall doors were open. I walked in. So I was like, I mean, unless they were sitting on the toilet seat in that one stall that had the door closed. So then I start hearing like whispering. What the? And it's like a prayer, like a whispering prayer. And I'm like, what the fuck? So then I'm like trying to finish really fast. And so I'm washing my hands, the toilet flushes, and it's not in the stall with the door closed. So I'm like, I'm fucking out. So I'm like bolting for the door. And as I'm going, here comes one of the cops to use the men's room. Like, shitter's haunted. And I'm like, almost to assholes as I'm straight, like sprinting back to the NICU. And I'm getting to the door. And like to open it up, and I'm like, shitter's haunted. I don't know. And like you can hear him laughing still across the lobby, like just dying laughing. This poor guy, I have probably created a story for this guy's entire life. And so I go back to NICU. I'm trying to tell him the story. We need to be serious. This is what happened. There was praying, there was whispering, the seat dropped, the toilet flushed, like there's something in the bathroom. And we probably never noticed it because there's always people here. Now that there's no people here, we can hear it. And then I'm like, so I was running out and I was telling this cop, and they just die laughing. And I'm like, okay, so this has been a story since then. That was probably 15 years
It's been a while, yeah.
And yeah, so now it's like a thing. So anytime I tell this story, it becomes a thing. Every place I work, shitter's haunted. So it's a thing now. So that's one. That's my primary story. I have had other things.
Or how about our house?
Hospitals. So
we lived in Kyle, which is just south of Austin. And I was still in the oil fields at this point. And we had just left a severely haunted house when we moved there. And her cat and her sister and other people kept telling me that there was shit going on in the house. I'm like, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way that we just keep moving to haunted places. I mean, no. Like, I believe in that shit, but I'm not going to be one of those ones that just blames everything as a ghost.
Yeah.
Not everything is a fucking ghost.
No.
And
sometimes you have bad pipes.
And even the stuff that they're experiencing, I'm in the same room. I'm trying my damnedest to find a way to write it off. And generally it was footsteps in the master bedroom, which was directly above the living room, and footsteps up and down the stairs. And I heard it, but for the life of me, there had to be some logical explanation. Until one day, I was taking a shower. Kat and her sister and several other people were all out grocery shopping. And I hear the bathroom door open, the bathroom door close, hear the toilet seat move, and I think it's Kat. And I'm sitting there just talking my ear. It's blah, 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 blah.
Austin?
Yeah.
I mean, that was way after.
Regardless. So I'm sitting there just having a full-on fucking conversation, thinking Kat's pooping or peeing or something. And toilet flushes. I hear the toilet seats, the door. And then as soon as that, and then I open the shower curtain and nobody's there. And I'm like, what the fuck? And so I jump out of the shower and I open the bathroom door, which had not reopened since the initial time.
Did you try showing it the helicopter?
I don't want the ghost laughing at me.
You want to haunt this bitch?
I haunted that ghost for the rest of its spiritual life.
Did you go behind it and say, oh my love?
But yeah, it was like 10 minutes later before Kat got back to the house. I'm like, what ghost flushes a fucking, like, I could hear the handle move. It wasn't just like water ran. It was just,
that house was weird. Like the things that happened were like you could hear it walking. So our master was upstairs and it had hardwood floors. The rest of the upstairs was carpet, but just that one room was hardwood floors. you could hear someone walking across our bedroom floor
Even when you're in the room.
even when you're in the room. So I would be asleep. I was working nights at the time. I would be asleep during the day and I could hear someone walking across our bedroom floor. So every time I'd wake up thinking it was him home, which he was rarely home, or like the kids walking in, something. It's so pronounced. You can hear it walking. And then when you're downstairs in the living room, which is right below the master, it's so obvious. So toilets flushing, footsteps. Besides that, I mean,
But it got
that was basically
it got fairly active, but it was mainly just the footsteps. But
I mean, that
it was
primary
weird
thing.
because if you were like, I don't know, I would talk to it like it was like a normal person, and I'd be like, "Hey,
and if you touch
I'm trying to
it would-
sleep. Can you like leave me alone?" And it would stop.
It would stop walking if you asked it to, and that's what was crazy because you would be downstairs, you're like, enough, and then it would go away for a while.
But what was so weird about it is, we lived in that house. It was roughly 2010, plus minus, and it was like an 8-year-old house. So there wasn't a lot of history in that house. There was no deaths in that house. As far as I know, it wasn't like an ancient Indian burial ground.
Who knows? It was a cookie cutter subdivision.
Yeah,
that was put up in like probably 3 months. It could have been a freaking cemetery before that, or someone just died there randomly. Who the fudge knows?
Or maybe there was somebody buried in the concrete when they poured the foundation.
I was totally gonna say someone was in our walls, but damn, you beat me to it.
It'd be a lot cooler if it was. So while we're telling our little stories and stuff, put in the comments some of the coolest haunted places that you've been to, that you think we should research or visit or anything like that.
So we can put it on a bucket list.
The most haunted place in your hometown or your state or something like that. Stuff that you know that we would just really, really enjoy.
Book us the house of your grandma's house. We're in. Let's do it.
I wonder if my grandma's house was haunted.
Which grandma?
I don't care.
So another story I have at the hospital. I'm just trying to give hospital stories. I don't know if I've told a lot of them before. The most recent hospital I currently work in on the second floor. The very, 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 very small thing that happens, but it happens so frequently and to so many people, it has become like a legend at our hospital because on the second floor where labor and delivery is now, once upon a time it was ICU, there's a mirror in the back, like going towards the employee elevators and stuff. So here's a hallway, and then here's the elevator. So there's one of those mirrors on the ceiling so that you can make sure you don't like smash into someone coming from a different hallway or around the corner, you know. And if you're walking down one of those hallways, if you look in the mirror, you see a guy wearing blue scrubs waiting on the elevator. So every time those elevators are fucking slow. So every time I see him and I'm like, oh, fuck yes. That means I don't have to wait on the elevator. Someone's already pushed the button. And I go back there and no one's fucking there. And I was like, what the hell? So by like, it was the second or third time this happened. And I'm coming down one hallway and there's a housekeeping coming down another. And we turned the corner and she's like, where'd he go? And I was like, you saw him too? She goes, the guy in the blue scrubs. And I was like, holy shit. And it was that instant validation. And I was like, fuck yes. So I finally brought it up to some people in the NICU and they were like, oh my God, I saw that too. Like I thought my mind was just playing tricks on me. And so now there's some people who don't do well with shit like that. Me, I'm fascinated. So I'm always looking for the guy in the blue scrubs. Not everyone's interested in that. So now there are people who will like literally not look at that mirror because they think the mirror is possessed. And I'm like, all right.
That'd be fucking cool.
I mean, if it is, I'm going to buy it on eBay or something.
How much for the mirror?
I know. So,
you know what? One place I don't think is haunted that everybody thinks is for some reason is cemeteries and graveyards. I don't think are as haunted as.
They're vessels. They don't care where the body is.
Yeah, because the trauma didn't happen there.
Yeah.
Did
you stir it with your fingy?
I put it on a table and stirred it.
With your finger?
I mean,
the sugar's all at the bottom. You clearly didn't stir it well.
No, I didn't stir. I'm not done making it yet.
Oh, whoops.
I'm done now. Take the goddamn thing.
Stir it. Not.
There you go. Do you want me to start with my thingy?
No, give me the modeler. Oh wait, you already
over there.
shoved it in your throat.
Don't you? Are you fucking high? Oh, you better fucking do it right. You better give everybody a goddamn show after that shit. That's right. You're welcome.
Sorry, Mom.
You are all. So, Frank, getting back on task because we're goddamn professionals here. Frank talks about the West Virginia Penitentiary in Moundsville, West Virginia. Is that one of the ones that has been on all the ghost shows?
There's been so many penitentiaries and sanatoriums. I don't remember.
Oh, the when Kat and I were first dating, I took her on a date to San Antonio. And in San Antonio, you have
told this story.
Have we?
Yes, where we almost got arrested.
Yeah, well,
they know this story.
Well, you just ruined it for the people that haven't heard it before.
They've heard it. They've all heard
Okay,
it.
never mind. Moving on.
Sorry.
That was kind of a dick move.
No, we've already told this story. I want to tell stories.
Well, there's new people there, and I was just bringing it up about the asylum. But never mind. We're moving on.
Don't be busy.
Don't be a bitch.
Well, I'm really good at it.
You are.
I cleaned off the bottle the way you like it, so shut the fuck up.
You ruined my story. Rude.
He wants to tell the story again.
No, it's not gonna happen now. See, we're goddamn.
I'm like trying to think of what other story like you can. Did you what about the ghost that was in your neighbor's house growing up? Did you tell that story?
Oh. So yeah, I lived in a neighborhood. All the houses were built in the 50s, 60s. The town I grew up in, there was a Navy base there at one time, and the majority of the people that lived on our block were Navy, prior Navy, retired Navy, stuff like that. All one-story houses except for one, and it just so happens that the one two-story house that's on the block had a very traumatic history to it. There was a son that committed suicide, a mom that died of cancer in the house, like just one thing after the other. It's completely unrelated.
Yeah.
And I was young enough. This is the age where a new kid moves into the neighborhood and y'all know each other for like 3 days and you're best fucking friends. Like
I miss
attached
that
at the hip.
Damn, I miss that age.
And so I ended up, there was a family that moved in, and there was like four brothers and sisters, all within like a year above or a year below me, age wise. And so they're still moving in, and they invite me to stay the night with them, and I go and stay the night. And this is back when Nintendo Entertainment System was still a thing, because I'm fucking old. But we're in one of the bedrooms playing Nintendo, and there weren't all these ghost shows at the time. There weren't all these movies at the time that let you know what you're supposed to feel, to condition you for what a haunting is. And I'm like 8, 9 years old.
Poltergeist wasn't around yet.
I hadn't seen it.
Oh.
And I just kept feeling like I'd be playing and I'd have to stop and turn because I felt like somebody was staring at me, like just that almost a pressure on your back because it feels like somebody's staring at you that intently, and I would turn around and it would stop. And it would just kept happening, and got to the point where it freaked me out so badly that I ended up leaving at like 10:30 at night and running home.
You were that kid who his friend to the left is asleep, his friend to the right's asleep, and he's like, "Oh."
But it legitimately freaked me out, and I didn't. And then I have no idea what the circumstances were, but that family only lived there for like 2 months. Could it have been the haunting? Maybe. Could it have been just they had shitty credit and didn't pay their rent? I have no fucking clue. No idea.
We do have a story. You want to read it?
Well, let me finish telling the story about the
Oh, I thought you were
this house. Again with you?
You said they moved out. I thought that was it.
No. You wanted me to tell all the stories about the house. I'm telling. God damn it, woman. You're fucking pushing every goddamn button tonight.
I like buttons. They light up. They're real pretty.
For the next couple of years, families just moved in and out. Nobody really stayed. Not sure why. I was young, didn't know, didn't care. Finally, family moved in. And again, instant best friends. What are you fucking doing?
Pushing your button.
God, stop it, please. Good God Almighty. I'm going to fucking haunt you with a fist.
Will you stop distracting yourself from your own story, please? Oh, this is going to be so much fun. Finish.
God, I've never
Can I
hit
move
a
on to
woman.
Ron's story?
Yeah, fucking move on to Ron's story.
Someone asked, is this a long story? See, I didn't tell all my hospital stories all at once. You guys spread this shit out. Ron says the LTAC, where I took my first travel assignment in Longview, Texas, there was a room where we'd see a woman go into. It was also just before or after some would pass in the room. Oh, that's creepy.
It's like the harbinger.
Yeah, that's creepy.
So what other stories do you have?
I have hospital stories.
Yeah, tell all your stories. You're going to finish this out.
No, you haven't finished your story.
No, I'm done. I'm fucking done.
I don't know. The only other things I've seen in hospital, I mean, I've seen a few things. My mom has too. We have a kid like on the 4th floor of a cardiac hospital that we'd see kids running in and out, hear them laughing in there, but there was no one in there, no patient, no nothing. And it would happen pretty often, like where people would be like, don't even engage, don't just ignore it. And it's like, really? But like everybody heard it, but no one would go into the room. And it's like, so I went in the room, they're like, what'd you do? Why did you do that? Now it's gonna be worse. Like, what do you mean? Yeah, it was worse. What else? What else have I experienced in a hospital?
So my first deployment, out in the middle of it was tent city, just all of us living in like MASH style tents, GP mediums. There's like 2 hardened buildings on the entire base that we just kind of built on this abandoned airfield.
GP medium, what is that?
It's the tent.
Oh, it's a type of tent.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. It's a type of tent.
Okay, let me tell a story. So we're all and there's pretty much nothing. And this is in Albania and Kosovo, and all the houses are built out of cinder blocks. They're spaced apart. The cities are real tight, and then outside the cities, it's just random cinder block houses here and there. Well, we're sitting there. It's the middle of the fucking night, and we're just doing whatever we can to keep each other awake, get to telling ghost stories. And Sergeant Garcia, never forget this dude, starts telling me about St. Leo.
Oh,
This is my first.
No.
This is my first experience with St. Leo, and he goes to tell me this story about
It's not cool.
There was this guy Leo, time of Christ or before Christ. He would run around the towns. He'd grab you by the shoulder, turn you around, tell you that the Messiah is coming, the Savior is coming. At that time, it was illegal to do that, and so he would get chased off by the cops on religious police at the time. And I'm really paraphrasing the story real quick. But after doing this for so many years, he built up a legend. So you'd feel somebody grab you on your back, and you'd turn around, there'd be nobody there, and you knew who it was. It was Leo trying to tell you about the coming of the Messiah and the Savior. And eventually he was caught. He was executed. But before he died, I guess he did enough to where he could be given sainthood. And
is there a St. Leo?
Let me tell the goddamn story. So he tells me this whole story, and I'm like just enthralled. Like I'm just like, and he's like, well, there's more to this story. You know, if you look somebody in the eyes and you say St. Leo 3 times and you close your eyes, you can feel him touch your back. And I'm 18, 19 years old at the time, gullible as fuck. And so I do it, and I feel something touch my back, and I make this god-awful girly scream. And yeah, not my proudest moment.
I did
But-
the same thing when he did
But
it to
I want
me.
to show y'all the secret, so you can scare people with it, and you can make whatever story you want to go with it. But
okay, one just to clarify, I had the same reaction he did. I was not okay. I was not fucking okay. We did it to our niece, my sister's daughter, and now I cannot be anywhere near her. It doesn't matter. She will do St. Leo. I don't even have to fake it. She feels it every time. It's amazing. It's the magic of the belief, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway.
Let's show them how you actually do. So what they think they're seeing or feeling is this. So
St. Leo, St. Leo, St. Leo.
And then you have somebody press their fingers on your eyeballs like this, and they feel something touch you, and they jump. But what is really happening is they go St. Leo.
St. Leo, St. Leo, St. Leo.
And you go like this. And as soon as they close their eyes, you do this like devil horns, like, ah, and you do that on there, and then use your other hand and touch their back, and they freak out. As soon as they jump, you bring both your hands back like this, like, oh my God, did you feel it? And it's great. You scare, if you know anybody's a scary bitch or somebody's trying to like act like they're hard, yeah, tell them about St. Leo and see how they are. And it's definitely fun seeing.
Yeah, they turn to baby back bitch real fast.
Yeah, it's definitely fun seeing people jump and pee themselves.
But that was fun. But on that note, we're looking for oddities. We're looking for haunted. Nothing scares us. So yeah.
So with that, we
except for St. Leo, apparently.
We definitely want to thank you all for joining into this shit show tonight. We'd love always that you join us. Make sure if you are going to be out drinking or you are out drinking that you find a sober ride home. You wait till you sober up, get an Uber.
Or just go home with a girl right next to you.
Yeah.
And enjoy that morning.
Girl, guy, whatever. I'm not going to judge. Your thing is your thing.
If they have a feminine quality or air, like, or
what if it's a female watching?
Them, I just like feminine energy. Then go home with that dude. I don't care.
Whatever that was about. So make sure you go check out all of our old episodes on YouTube and any of your favorite podcasting platforms. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and all that good blah, 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 blah. Make sure you join us again next week.
We will be having a slumber party. We do not know if... Do we have a guest next week?
No, I was just looking at the schedule right now. Next week, I do believe is going to be pre-recorded. And then the week after that, let's go ahead and plan for the...
Awesome. So it'll either be Strange World Records or Lost Celebrities. Where are they now?
So with that, we are going to call it a night. We both have to get up stupid early for work in the morning. So thank y'all again for tuning in. We love you guys, and y'all be safe.
Good night, everybody.